and I just wanted to come out with a new video regarding some additional healing work that you can do for yourself that I was able to work on, and it really does help. Basically, anytime we're dealing with hurt, we know we have been hurt. We know we can't hide from it. You can't undo what's been seen, felt, or the words that you heard that cut you so deeply, right? We know this. So we also know we can't rewind time to replace any of the words or actions that we said at the moment, any of the pain or defensive reactionary responses. Your unhealed inner child basically is what's screaming out for some of the problems that we have had in our lives, and it's needing healing. And our ego exists in our lives because it was always there to protect us from all the emotional, the physical, and the mental abuse scenarios that we had to experience that created that long-term hurt and pain. So during your spiritual awakening, those memories reoccur because of the fact it's looking for you to heal. And it feels like it's a torment, but what you're supposed to do is stop, think, reflect, and go about healing. So how do you take control? You lost yourself the day your power was taken from you, and now it's time to heal. So how do we go about healing? How do we take our power back and love ourselves, create that self-love on our journey of awakening? So how you do this? Obviously, we pray. I know I went to therapy, and obviously that's something you still want to be able to do. There's obviously medications if you need to go that far. If you have anxiety, obviously you have those type of medications. You have herbal remedies, but then also there's breathing techniques, and that can be found on YouTube. So feel free to look up some breathing techniques because that really does help with anxiety. Meditation, as I stated, helps with PTSD. And so we know about therapy. We understand that we now can do some breathing techniques. But what else can you do? So prayer, meditation helps. We also know that. But there's something else about meditation I didn't know. So I also did support of family and friends. Go out fun. You take your mind off of things, because also the self-awakening journey is very much so having fun and joy in your life, doing things that you love to experience. So basically, the biggest thing is don't hide from your pain, don't bury it, and don't ignore it. You need to take those lessons that you can learn from them so that you can heal and make sure that they never repeat themselves. So then basically, it also leads to the fact you get frustrated, you get sad or lost and angry. So again, how do you heal from abandonment, rejection, hurt, words, physical, mental, or emotional abuse? How can you heal? How do you take your power back? How can you trust again? These are the questions that you have to ask yourself, and I know I've asked myself. So again, the things I found out that I had to include in my life through my journey was journaling. I've never kept a diary, and honestly, I hate it. But to be able to journal is a big key. So you do need to journal your daily thoughts, but also you need to create a gratitude journal. You need to talk about all the things in a day that you are grateful for. Then you need to go out in nature. You'll be amazed at how healing it is to be out in nature. Go on a hike, go to a park, walk around, or just sit, meditate, and think. And just breathe. But the biggest thing that I found that was most healing and useful was within meditation, there's something that's called shadow work. And that does sound very scary or intimidating, but it's not. We have a light and dark side to ourselves. Shadow work is just healing the darker side of us. So there's a lot of YouTube videos to explain what shadow work is. Basically, what I found and how I define it is shadow work is when you're in a deep meditation state within your heart center, and you basically think of the scenario that is plaguing your mind right now. Handle only one issue at a time. Example for me, it was anxiety. Think about a memory or a person that triggers your anxiety. That's when you're supposed to then take that one topic to focus on. Think about, where did your anxiety begin with in the first place? Why did it begin? How far back can you remember in your childhood did your anxiety develop? Then, when you get anxiety, think, are those situations something that deserves your anxiety? What is the best outcome of the situation? What is the worst thing that can happen? Is it as bad as you portrayed it to be in your to cause the anxiety in the first place? When you do find the answer, and you find the answer is no, it's not that bad, it wasn't as deep and it wasn't as scary as you thought it was, then you need to think about what the positive solutions are, right? So then you'll realize that once I realize it's not scary, I found my positive solutions, how I could have handled it. The replaying in your mind is not so extreme anymore, because now you realize, oh my God, it couldn't have been scary. But then you have that regret because you're like, oh my God, I could have handled this different. That's not what you're supposed to do. It was a lesson. So now you know how to handle everyday scenarios better now. Okay. So with that being said, now that you're not so anxiety based, now you know how to breathe, because you've been practicing breathing, deep breathing methods. You know how to handle it in case you're across a real life scenario until you know you nixed your anxiety. You know how to be mindful. So by finding better solutions, you can breathe through it. You can begin your healing. So whenever you're experiencing the anxiety again, because we're all a work in progress, have patience with yourself. Yeah, you may need, again, that medication, prescription or herbal to help you out, but try your best to see if this is something you can conquer your own, because it is something that you do have to conquer on your own typically. It's a dis-ease, not a disease. It's a dis-ease within yourself that you can conquer within yourself. This is what I found. So basically, I gotta find my place because I'm trying to keep my notes here. You may also have to do additional shadow work if necessary. If a new situation evolves and you did not handle it well, that's fine. Again, be patient and kind to yourself. Go back into shadow work. Think about the scenario. How else can you have done it better? So again, another scenario arises. You know how to handle it. But then after you get that understanding and you put it to action, again, day-to-day life that you come across, you'll find that the focus and the pain of the lessons that you had to go through is actually for your benefit. And you want to be sure to work on any other past pains that you had that you needed clearing on. Maybe it's trust issues. You want to do the same steps. And then the next topic, maybe you're jealous, or maybe it was abuse that you dealt with. Okay, now you go in and do the shadow work for those scenarios too. Go within, do the same steps for your shadow work. And then when you're confronted with something, be mindful, breathe, take advantage of your breathing techniques that you had learned. And then when you're out in the world and all of a sudden you're triggered, breathe. Biggest thing is breathe. Be mindful of what you learned. Stand firm, because you don't want anyone to take advantage of you. I understand that. Be firm, but handle the situation for the greater of good. Be mindful of your words and your actions so that they do not control you, so that you can take your power back, so you don't have any regrets. Okay? Being mindful with your words prevents you from having, again, the regrets, and that you stood in your power, that you handled it by proving how much you have grown for the better, okay? Grown for the better, and you have taken the power back with every situation, and every day, that action that you take, you'll realize, oh my God, how much I improved, because I've seen it. I live it every day now. I can say, I can see myself handling and interacting with people better in social scenarios. I don't have that anxiety. I don't have that fear. And you pat yourself on your back and you jump for joy because you have healed. You have conquered it. And again, you're going to have those scenarios fly right back up in your face, because guess what? You need to know that you're going to get those tests, and can you handle it? Did those lessons really stick? Yes, they did. And guess what? You might all of a sudden say, I thought I learned it. How come I'm backsliding? Well, because you had a test and you're kind of thrown off your game. But again, that's where you compromise and within yourself and say, you know what? Okay, threw me off a little bit. Again, every scenario is different. Forgive yourself, have compassion, love yourself, love whoever threw it at you. And also remember, there is such a thing called mirroring effect. So your relationships, your friends, things of that nature, if they're aggressive towards you and they're pointing fingers at you, don't take it as an offense, because it's a mirror. Whoever you're with is a mirror reflection of who you are. So there's something about you that day that's that's taking you out of alignment, and you need to think to yourself, okay, they're mad at me. What are they saying? Listen, and then implement that into a meditative state and realign yourself. Okay, it's something that you need to work on, that they just said and helped you realize that's something I need to work on. Unconditional love, I'm breathing, I'm going to work on that. And you improve on it. If it's shadow work level, shadow work level, do it. But if it's just something simple, do it. And keep yourself always focused, and never break down to the point where you allow yourself to go out of pocket and handle something in a negative way. Handle everything you do in a positive light, unconditional love, forgiveness for yourself and other people with patience and compassion. And that is the biggest thing you need to remember. And this is how you heal. This is how you continue with your spiritual awakening journey. Always find a solution that will handle everything within the greatest of good for that scenario, leaving you without any regrets or handling that situation in a bad light. I hope this information helps. Again, reminder is to use breathing techniques along with guided meditations, healing sounds, Reiki healing, so you balance your chakras, stuff like that. This all helps with your healing. So good luck on your journey. Feel free to ask any questions. If anyone has any comments to assist anyone below, feel free to leave. And I hope you guys have a great day. All right. Bye-bye, guys.